All right, what's good, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of the King Ray Show. Glad to see y'all in the joint with me today. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate the patience y'all have, man, for me, coming back on and doing the show. But let's have a good one today. I'm an OG, meaning I'm over 45, right? A proud OG. See my salt and pepper? Proud of it. But there are some things I wish I had known when I was younger. Now, granted, I knew a lot in my 20s and 30s, but there are some things that I wish I had known that I didn't know until later on, or I didn't accept until later on. So knowing and accepting are two different things, but here's some things that I wish I had known and accepted when I was in my 20s and 30s. And hopefully this can help some of you young men and maybe some of you older men as well who have either forgotten these things, not known these things, or not adhered to these things. The number one thing is no one else desires to see you win the way you desire to see you win. No one really cares about the effort and energy that it takes for you to win. Even the people who verbally support you, they don't want to support you with their actions. And they're not obligated to because they don't owe you anything. No one owes you anything. I think the hardest thing for us to accept and reconcile our minds to is that no one owes us anything. Once you become an adult, your parents don't owe you anything. Their time for owing you stops when you become an adult. They owe you to raise you properly so you can have the best chances to be a successful adult, a reasonable and prudent adult, an honorable contributor to society. Beyond that point, you're on your own. Everything they do after that, they're just doing it because of their love for you, but not out of obligation. The second thing I wish I had known is hitting rock bottom at least once is a very uplifting experience. It's a cleansing experience. It's a cleansing experience. It cleanses you from all of your grand outlook on yourself, from all of your overconfidence, from all of your unnecessary belief in your ability to do the impossible without the impossible effort. It helps you understand how fickle it is to be successful, how you must protect success, how you must ward off all of those who are offenders or pretenders or anything who is not a defender of your success. You learn a valuable lesson when you hit rock bottom. And no one wants to save you from rock bottom like you do. So what hitting rock bottom does, it shows you that even despite your best effort to maintain what you have, all it takes is one wrong move, one bad decision, or one moment of indecision to ruin it all and have you back at square one. And I know that's a lot to accept. None of us really want to have that in our lives, but the reality is you must be aware of the fact that these things can take control of your life in a way where you're not even focusing on doing the things that got you to where you are. And you'll end up falling off so quickly that you'll be at rock bottom before you know it. You'll still be living like you're not at rock bottom for a while. So pay close attention to how you carry yourself, the respect you have for yourself and the respect you have for others whenever you see yourself achieving any level of success, because it can all be gone overnight. The next thing I wish I had known or adhered to is no one owes you any help or assistance. No one owes you any help or assistance. If you're on the side of the road stranded with a flat tire and you don't have AAA, no one owes you to stop and help you. Now, there was a time in our society when people would, but it was a much safer time, a much more reasonable time to expect that and to accept that help. But now, no one owes you any assistance. That is why whenever I need someone to do a service for me, whether it's a family member or whoever it is, I pay them. I want to find out what their consideration of a fair wage is, and I want to pay them that wage for whatever it is. I don't let anyone do anything for me for free because I want your best effort, and people's best effort come from compensation for that effort. And that's what I want to do because no one owes you anything. And so if you're not willing to compensate someone for something they do for you, then you have the mindset that they owe you something. And trust me, you don't want people to owe you something. because then when they pay you, you get into this back and forth of you owe them, they owe you, you owe them, and you don't want to know owe anyone anything. The goal in life is not to owe anyone anything unless it's absolutely necessary. The next thing I wish I had known or adhered to is you have to make up your mind to reverse your fortunes in life. If you don't like the way your life is going, you have to make up your mind to reverse your fortunes. You have to make up your mind to stop doing the things you're doing. You have to make up your mind to understand that the things you're doing now got you in the situation you're in, and they're not going to help you get out of that situation. They're going to dig the hole even deeper. So you must understand that the only way you get a change of results is a change of actions. That's the only way. And to add to that, I'll say it's your life, so you got to take full control of those actions anyway. Why would you not take full control of the actions that affect your life? It's your job to do that. Like it's your job to understand that only your actions can be predicted. You can't predict what anyone's going to do in any situation except yourself. And so, since your actions are the predictable ones, why don't you do what you know you should do, what you know you could do, what you know you would do, what you know you can do? You must do all of those things because your effort is the only one that's guaranteed to contribute to your life in either a positive or a negative manner. Someone can do something negative across the world and it might not affect you. Someone can do something negative in your neighborhood and it might not affect you. But everything you do, positive or negative, is going to affect your life. You don't know what just happened in Istanbul, Turkey, that was positive today. So it can affect your life. But what you did in your life affects your life. So take control of those actions because you must understand that no one owes you any help or assistance. So you have to give your own self help and assistance. And even more, try to not be in a situation where you need much help and assistance. The goal is to get to a self-sufficient state. Now, no man is an island, so none of us is going to be able to do it alone, but you must keep in mind that it is your job, your responsibility to implement the actions that are going to help you gain, attain, and maintain any level of success you ever reach. Now, the next thing I wish I had known is this: the road to recovery is a lonely solo journey, but it's so intense that you can't even focus on how lonely it is. You don't know how lonely the road to recovery is until you recover. If you fall off, if you lose everything, you don't know how long the road is back. You don't know how lonely it is back because all you're focusing on is getting back. You're not looking to the side. You're focusing step by step, one foot in front of the other, so that no matter what kind of recovery you're into, if you're recovering from substances or you're recovering from some type of addiction, if you're recovering from, losing everything, if you're recovering from an illness, you must know that you must focus 100% of your effort and energy on that recovery process. So rebuilding what you've lost, it takes all you have. Recovering from an injury, it takes all you have. Recovering from an illness, it takes all you have. Recovering from some type of substance abuse, it takes all you have. And not only does it take all you have to recover, it takes all you have to maintain what you have recovered. So it is your job, it is my job, it is our job to make sure that we keep in mind, if the journey you're on isn't lonely, then you're not focusing on the things you need to focus on. Now, am I saying you're supposed to be alone your entire life? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you should be alone in life, focusing on what you need to focus on until you get to where you want to be. That's what you should be doing. You don't have time to hang out and party and hang out with your friends when you're not to your goal yet. If your parents are paying for your education, you can't afford to party. You need to be studying whenever you can. I'm not saying don't do anything fun, but you don't have time to do wasteful things. You don't have time to do things that are detrimental to your health. Every time you take a sip of alcohol is detrimental to your health. Every time you do any other recreational inebriating substance, then you are damaging your health. And so you can't afford to do that. If you have student loans, you can't afford to blow money. You need to be having a job. Anytime you can go work, anytime you can go party, you can go work. Anytime you can go hang out, you can go work. Start your process early. The next thing I wish I had known or adhered to is this: use this time as a reminder that no one cares about your failure like you thought they cared about your success. See, when you see how people feel about your failure, that's how they felt about your success. but everyone gets a little bit of boost of positive energy from being a part of a winner. So everybody wants to be a part of a winner. It feels good. When you think about the Miami Heat and you think about Jimmy Butler and how he's taken that team to the finals 2 times since he's been there. Now he's in Golden State and all the Miami Heat fans, they don't love him anymore. They're not going to feel good if the Golden State Warriors win a championship this year with Jimmy Butler there. Not like they would have felt if Jimmy Butler was in Miami winning a championship. That is how support is. Support is what support does. And so if support doesn't travel with you, it wasn't true support. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with people not giving you that true support. I'm saying that you as an individual must understand that support is fleeting. It's not authentic support. The support is for the cause. The support is for the organization. The support is for the overall journey, not for the individual. So never get it twisted and believe that all of the people who support you are supporting you for you. They may be supporting the mission. Something may resonate with them that you have said, and they may be supporting that. But very few people are going to truly support you, and you'll be able to tell that in the times you fall off in life. There's one great lesson you'll learn when you fall off, and it's the fact that you're all alone in this world. There may be one person who is going to be there for you like that. And if that person is the opposite sex, you probably should marry that person. That's who that is. If you're a man and there's a woman who's always there for you, that's not related to you now, you should marry that woman. If you're a woman and there's a man who's always there for you, you should forget all others and marry that man. That's what you want. You want someone who is always there for you, who is cheering you on during your good times, and who is being a shoulder for you to lean on your down times. That's what this is about. Don't listen to all the rhetoric about the other stuff. This is about the few people that support you. And I'll do a piece of content later on this week and tell you the value of relationships and how to determine what relationships you should put your energy into and which ones you should totally avoid putting any energy into. And that's going to be a pretty good topic. I like this one is. But the next thing that I wish I had learned or adhered to in my 20s and 30s, other people may not want to see you down. Other people may want to see you down as a means to their own self-elevation, meaning that there are people around you who will pull the rug from under your feet. They'll pull your seat from under you as you're sitting down so you can crash down onto the floor, and they'll take your seat. So you got to be very careful about the people that you allow around you, because there are people who simply want to use you as a stepping stone. Now, there's nothing wrong with using a situation as a stepping stone, but to try to pretend with someone that you are there to support them 100% when you are only intending on using them as a stepping stone. That means you're an opponent or an adversary of that person. I don't mind having opponents. There's nothing wrong with having opponents and adversaries. If competition, that's what breeds success. But if someone is around you acting like they're an ally when really they're an adversary, that's a problem. But the situation is, you can't determine that. You can't tell who's around you and wants to truly be there to support you, because everyone around you is going to feign support. That is why you must do some things, and we'll talk about that on the next show. Some things that you must do to make sure that the people around you are there for the right reasons and they don't have some ill ulterior motive. But you must understand that everyone around you isn't there to see you win. Some people around to see you get as high as you can get and then catapult themselves off of your success. And there's no problem with that, like I said, if their intentions are known. There's nothing wrong with someone saying, "Hey, I'm just here for a little while. I'm trying to get, get this much information, or, achieve these many hours, or do whatever they're trying to do." It's fine for someone to say that. And if that way you know what you're dealing with. But the majority of people around you, you'll find out that they're not there for the reasons you think they're there for. All you have to do is change something. All you have to do is let the benefit they think they're getting end. Even if it ends temporarily or you feign that it's ending, you'll get a different result from most people around you. And that is another method of telling who's there because they want to see you win, or who's there because they want to win by riding your coattail or your wing. and they don't care if you crash out for them to win. Another thing I wish I had known or accepted when I was in my 20s and 30s, your strength and resilience will be tested every single level you reach in life, because there's going to be people that you care about that have to be left behind. There's going to be people that you don't care much for that are meant to be a part of this process. There's going to be situations and circumstances that you thought were authentic that were a sham the entire time. There's going to be times where the people you trusted the most are going to prove that they were the least trustworthy people you know. There are times when it's going to seem like the impossible has to happen. And you're not going to really believe that the impossible is possible until you realize that all things are possible with God. And then you're going to have an understanding that all you have to do is keep the wrong energy from around you for the right things to happen. But your strength and resilience will be tested like never before. If you want to achieve any level of success, your strength and resilience will be tested like never before, especially in the beginning. Now, we know what strength is. As you build your strength, it's easier for you to maintain. It's easier for you to fight things off. It's easier for you to ward off things. But in the beginning, you don't have a lot of strength. And so you got to build it. And their resilience is going to be tested. Think about those guys you grew up with and y'all been hanging together for 20 years. And now all of a sudden, you need to go in a different direction from them, which means they're going to think you changed on them. They're going to think you're acting funny with them. They're going to think that you think you're better than them. Here's one thing I want you to understand. If you decide to elevate yourself and they don't, you are better than them. And that's the toughest pill for them to swallow. They rather not see you. They rather sabotage you than to have your actions throw right back into their face their inaction. And that's going to be one of the toughest things you face. I promise you. That's going to be one of the toughest things you ever face. Now, the next thing that I wish I had known or adhered to in my 20s and 30s is you're all you've got. From birth to death, you're all you got. There's an old saying we used to say, from the cradle to the grave, I'm all I got. I'm all I've got. Anyone else can leave at any time. You can have a perfectly great, loving, functional marriage, and the divorce papers are on the desk next week. You just never know. So you're all you've got. So here's what you have to do. You have to protect yourself. You have to respect yourself, and you have to never neglect yourself because you're all you got. If a physical battle comes, you're the only one that you know for a fact is going to fight for you. If a financial battle comes, you're the only one you know for a fact is going to fight for you. If an emotional struggle comes, you're the only one that you know for sure is going to fight for you. In times of psychological battle, you're the only one that you know for sure is going to fight for you. So remember, you're all you've got. And this is why, as we get older, our circles get smaller because we understand that I'm all I've got. And I'm looking at everybody around me and see what they're contributing. If you're not contributing anything to my life, then you don't deserve to be a part of it. If I wasn't contributing anything to it, I wouldn't be a part of it. You know what I mean? So if I have to contribute, everyone does. Everyone does. It's just the way it is. You can't afford to have people around you that you're carrying like dead weight. The life is already heavy enough. The burdens of life are already heavy enough. The responsibilities of life are already heavy enough. How you gonna carry all your responsibilities, then carry somebody else and their responsibilities as dead weight? You can't do it. You can't do it. The number 10 thing that I wish I had known or adhered to is God is real. And if you don't accept that, you will be forced to at some point, or you will perish from your ignorance. My people perish from lack of knowledge. Do not believe that you're in this world doing this on your own. Just don't believe it. Don't believe that it's just you. In human form, think about how weak we are. Think about how many of us perish every day. Think about how many people out here are making the worst decisions ever. Think about how many people out here are doing the most violent crimes ever. Think about that. And so don't get it twisted and think that the human form is so superior like that. We don't. If there's not a superior being who's controlling all of this, we're not smart enough. We're not strong enough. We're not considerate enough. We're not thoughtful enough. You know what I mean? We're not selfless enough to do all of these things. We're not selfless enough to have all of this water and all of this running everywhere. We're not selfless enough to have this air that we breathe and let people breathe it for free. If man controlled the world, we charge people for oxygen to breathe. You know this. So you got to remember that God is real and you'll be forced to accept this or perish from your ignorance. The number 11 thing, I'm going to give y'all two extra ones here. I know I said 10, but I give you two extra ones here. God is merciful enough to forgive you for the transgressions that sink your life, but only if you're dedicated to the recovery process. Only if you're dedicated to the recovery process. You got to be willing and able to toe the line as long as it takes for you to recover the things that you took for granted before, or you'll never get them back. You got to stop taking them for granted. You have to be 100% laser focused on the recovery process. And if you're not, then you're taking mercy and forgiveness for granted. And it's just not something you should do. You owe yourself to do everything in your power to bounce back, to come back, to recreate the things that you know you need to recreate. You owe yourself that. And so give yourself what you owe yourself. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? And the number 12 thing that I wish I had known or adhered to when I was in my 20s and 30s is time flies by. Time flies by, man. You're in your 20s right now. It seems like you have so much time before you get to your 40s. But I promise you, time flies by. You look up and you're 30 and it seems like it's only been 5 years. You look up and you're 40 and it seems like it's only been 3 years. Time flies by. So establish the life that you love and enjoy every day so you can make memories every day as early as you possibly can. That's the fulfillment of life. The joy of life is to be able to wake up and make a memory every day. Think about this. If you're retired and you just go fishing every day, think about how many chances during that week you have to make a memory on a lake that you've never seen. What if you see something you've never seen before? What if you hear something you never heard before? What if you catch a fish you've never caught before? What if you catch a personal best fish that you've caught before and just catch the biggest one you ever have? Just think about all of these things. Think about it. Think about if you have an opportunity to help someone change their life. But you can't do that if every day you're in the same routine of getting up, going to spend 8 to 10, 12 hours in the same place. You can't do it. So look, I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate it. Listen, y'all remember on the way out, y'all comment before you leave. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.